Now we are live. I know we're live, but and I could see they say like my audio got a little bit of issue. Hey, are you talking, bro?
No, I didn't say anything yet.
Okay, cool. So you good.
No, I'm trying to see how I can um on what you call this on TikTok at the same time.
Okay, so are you on TikTok?
I'm on TikTok. I just don't see your invite on TikTok. I just sent you a message on there or
I just
click or
invited you.
something on it just now.
I just invited you again.
Okay. I was trying to figure out where do I go to find that. I don't see no message. Okay, there you go, bam. All right, there we go.
All right.
Right.
Oh man,
So
you
I'm
got that
gonna,
that echo.
I'm gonna turn down the sound on one of them. All right, go ahead. You can say. Let me see if you still get the echo.
Nah, I don't get the echo anymore.
Okay, cool.
All right, we live. We are live.
What's up, brother?
Man, I'm doing fantastic. Man, I don't see you. Are you on TikTok with
Yeah, I'm sitting right now. I can see you right there. You right next to you. You right on the same screen.
me? Oh, are we? All right, cool. So if we're on the same
Yeah, I
screen on
see you.
TikTok, then I don't see you on TikTok. I see you on Ecamm, where we are live to Facebook. We are live to YouTube, and all of these conversations that we have, I like to preface it by letting people know that they are eavesdropping on a conversation that you and I would typically have on the phone, and we are inviting them into just listening to the levels that we talk on, and how we inspire each other in just healthy, deep conversations, where sometimes we don't even know where it's gonna go. And but every single time, what we know to be true is that we 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 inspire each other. We leave with deep, fulfilling conversations, and all we know is the topic that that you that you are like, hey, I feel like this is something we could talk on. So I wanna invite you in, bro, to let our people know what are we tapping into today.
Today, I had some things on my man. I shared this with you earlier, but I just had some things on my mind in regards to what it actually takes to do something great. Like what does it take? What is the what is it going to require from a person to actually embark on something great? What should they expect? And because as we are, and this is not a plug or anything, but this is just something that we're on. You and I are on a journey
Mm-hmm.
to really, I mean, without trying to downplay it in any way, on a journey to change the world in a way, right? To really make a transformation. And this journey has humbled me into seeing what it really takes to do something of that magnitude. Not just saying it, but really having to live it and conceptualize it and create it in real time has been an eye opener. I've done so many businesses and things of that nature throughout my time, and I thought that they were great. You know what I'm saying? I thought it was like, I thought, but I realized in doing something, and especially in the sense of serving others, because that's what our endeavor is based on, is serving other people.
Yeah.
And doing something great at that magnitude requires something from you. And that's kind of just what I wanted to talk about, just to kind of, tap into that feeling that I'm having, because it's such a humble feeling. It's such a humble feeling to feel that I am in in the midst of creating something great that may be able to change the lives of numerous people. So that's really what I want to just tap in and kind of talk with you about. See how you felt about it as well, because you as the founder are wearing and have been wearing and championing this on your shoulders longer than I have in this particular in this endeavor. And just what is the weight on you? You know what I mean? What does that feel like? The good, the bad, and the sacrifice of it. The sacrifice your family has to make. The sacrifice, the people around you see and have to just be okay with because you're no longer maybe available at all times, things of that nature. You know what I mean? So I just want to kind of get your feedback on that to some degree.
I mean, bro, the feeling is one that I typically cannot explain. Really, like, typically cannot. And I'll tell you, oftentimes the faith that it's taking to be able to pursue the bigger vision of what we're building is
Hmm.
a faith that I would say is almost like what Noah needed to have when God told him to go build the ark.
Hmm.
And to imagine building the ark, how many people thought that he was crazy? How many
Right.
people around him didn't believe like what he was doing, but he kind of just followed anyway, and he had this um, unwavering faith to. Well, it wavered. He asked questions. There were things, right? But
Hmm.
but he still kind of persisted and went on. And I feel like that's the season that I'm in, where even his wife, kids, like everybody thought that he was crazy in what he was building. And then it saved that nation or that people, right? And I feel like
Hmm.
what we're building, even right now, and I feel like this is, I don't think I'm exclusive to this, but when someone is building something great, you I feel like we have to be okay with being called crazy. We have to be okay with um, losing some people along the way. There's just a lot of things that being okay has to come. And one of the okays that I've accepted but I still champion for is that, excuse me, is almost like building while still trying to keep the family together as much as possible. It's never perfect, but it's like it's
Hmm.
this constant pulse check that has to continuously happen because every level really requires the entire family to level up in a sense.
Hmm.
Otherwise you leave them. The distance just come so wide and so big, and one person may feel like I don't even know who you are anymore, and like because of the distance of what's going on just becomes so wide. And
Right.
and and that's a weight that and attention that I keep front of mind. And the reason why is because I've lost my family before because of my ambition. And
Hmm.
so I feel like it's also a part of my calling to represent how to do it while keeping your family together, you know?
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Because I feel that calling, that pulling, and it's a beautiful feeling, but at the same time, it's a isolating feeling. You know, You feel icy, like you on this island. It's like this joint is floating. This island is this island or this thing is moving, and if and it's almost like you like looking back, like come on, hurry up, like the boat is pulling out or whatever it is, and it's just but it's so beautiful. You're not going to get off.
Right.
You're not going to get off, and it's you can feel and I understand, and not to say we at the point, but I can see where people have this thing, what they call it, what a survivor's remorse, right? Like where you do so well and other people, and you just kind of like, yo, come on, like you feel like bad, like you want to keep going back, but it's like at this point, in the midst of growing and building, um, it's been a humbling experience. It's been a humbling experience, and I had to like, dig deep because and I'm sure a lot of people who are listening, right, probably have started a business and done something online and this and that, and maybe have tried things, right? And this is not in any way to knock those things because I've been that entrepreneur, that solo business type of thing, and I've done it for years. But when when you feel that higher calling to it, it's just another level of anxiety, but also obligation to it,
Yeah.
and that's what I've been feeling, and just it's like a duality, like a paradox in the sense, like one side is like, man, this is a lot, like this is heavy, this is going to be this and that, and you kind of, something that we talk about a lot, and actually we deal with in the program is that you get this imposter syndrome, you get these feelings of, yo, this thing is grand, like this is grand, like this is like this is something else, and you wonder, do you have everything that it takes to do it? But then you realize, yeah, I do, because it's been endowed in me. It's been given to me by the creator to do this. This task, he's not gonna give you a task you can't, you're not, God ain't gonna give you a task you're not ready for. You
Yeah.
just gotta know you're ready for it.
Yeah. I think I think this is not even I think this is the journey of becoming, man. And where there's no vision, the people shall perish. And I believe that without having that vision, people perish because they don't become, because the vision doesn't get them to this point where now we're faced with having to grow in ways that, had a goal not been a goal, a calling, a vision, however we want to frame it, had it not been this huge, then the transformation that's required to get to the other side may not have been worth it, because there are things right now that I am way more okay with facing and doing, because I see that if I don't, we wouldn't get there.
Mhm. Mhm.
It
Just
makes
send,
Go ahead.
I'm gonna say, just send me another invite. I think you might have dropped off of TikTok. Send me another invite for TikTok for some reason. Okay, it came on.
All right, I got you. All right, I just sent that to you. But we still live. We
Uh,
still live on Facebook. So
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, I just sent you on TikTok. Um,
Okay, okay, okay.
yeah, but the journey and the vision is what pulls us into this level of growth, where the pain of becoming becomes worth it. The stress, the all of the things, bro. And it's interesting because mine insurance, or even the entire Purpose Ways ecosystem, is developed to help persons go through the same process that we're going through, you know?
Hmm.
And it's because of that, I feel like I'm a few steps ahead of some people. Like, not even everyone. I feel like I'm a few steps ahead because the people that I typically help are people who or things that I have been able to get past myself, right? And so this concept of transformation, bro, like when I think back of where I've come from a kid, the life that I used to live, and woman and all of that, like all of those things has to come out of us to be able to get to the next level, because if we get to the next level still having all of that stuff, things like
Mm-hmm.
things like what happened with PDD would happen, where you just start acting out because now you got a boatload of money. Now you could do anything you want in life, but you're not healed based on the things that you've been through. You haven't fully become the thing. And
Mm-hmm.
I I I do believe that there is a thing of having success too early, too fast, you know? Because not being in a mental place to handle what comes with that, if we get addicted to the high of being high and all of that stuff, then then what's next? Like, and so if we were to look at like the music industry, like, bro, the music
Mm-hmm.
industry is a terrible, terrible, terrible thing. Although, and here's what I mean by that: music is life, period, right?
Mm-hmm.
But here's why I say it's terrible: because staying hot for many years is so difficult,
Mm-hmm.
bro. Jeez. Now, when you get addicted to the level of being on top,
Right.
what happens? And so you have athletes who go to the Olympics. They're hot for a period of time. You have you have people who are musicians. You have like, if you look at these people, bro, a lot of those people end up having mental health issues because they want to stay on that high of being the man, being the one, being all of that stuff. And so there's also that price of being great. And I feel as if it's not rooted in your purpose, where your skill and you continue to evolve and evolve and evolve and iterate, when you
Mm-hmm.
get left out because life does not wait on no man, you are not promised to be hot for many years, right?
Right.
Then what do you do? How do you navigate that? I like to call it, I came up with a term called having what do I call it? An emotional hangover, because that's what you're feeling right now. What you're feeling right now is an emotional hangover. It's like
Mm-hmm.
the event or the thing happened, and it's almost like you're drunk on that thing and then you want more of it. And so it could almost send you in a state of depression of how do we do this? How do we have more? How do we and I came up with this when I went and I started speaking, and the rush of speaking on stage, and that exhilarating, like you people stand
Mm-hmm.
up, stand in ovation, and then you come back home and then you're like,
Right.
what is this?
Right. I need that. Right. You looking at your wife. Are you gonna clap? you gonna? Are you gonna? I need some. I need some standing ovation again.
Yeah,
Right. You
it's
chasing the high.
chasing the high, man. And so
Mm-hmm.
there are two sides of it where we do get to pour in and bless people and change their lives. But then we also run down the high of doing that. And I mean, honestly, I think philanthropy is just a way to continue to feed the high. Not,
I can
I
see
mean,
that.
not, and there's a lot of great in philanthropy, but if you really think
Hmm.
about it, that that need to pour in and to help do something great and become a part of like just all of the things, bro. It's
No,
really
which is
something.
there's definitely a level of preparation that I see needs to go into. A person needs to be ready and evolved emotionally, for a journey like this. I think, like you said, I think that's why you find a lot of people who get success relatively quickly, or what seems to be relatively quickly,
Mm-hmm.
crash out
Mm-hmm.
because in somewhere in their preparation for this moment of greatness, they didn't take into consideration the pressure that it would be, or the requirement that it would take emotionally to be at that level, right? And I can see where, you know, this is where it would be imperative to have a grounding, to be grounded and rooted in some levels of principles and morality and integrity, because those are the foundational pillars that I think give you what they would now call emotional intelligence,
Mm-hmm.
right? For you to be able to navigate all of the feelings and things that start happening, all of the, like you said, the highs and the lows. Because I think at certain endeavors, the highs and the lows are different. The highs are higher and the lows are lower, you know?
Yeah. Yep.
And you kind of really got to have the mental fortitude to navigate that.
Yep.
You got to have the temperance to handle the different attitudes and the different people that you're coming in contact with, who may be coming with a different energy and a different force.
Mm-hmm.
And that force thing is real too. Forces, that energy that comes from different things and people and moments,
Mm-hmm.
how that energy really can penetrate your spirit. Like, you got to really be ready to navigate that. You got to really be able to stand on something. And I think this is where it comes back to having the grounding, the
Mm-hmm.
grounding in, we always go back to this same point, which is always spiritual. I think spiritual grounding needs to be the foundation of anything, of any endeavor, any great endeavor, or any endeavor, big or small, really. There needs to be a grounding in some level of spirituality. Otherwise, you can be led astray. You can fool yourself so easily.
Yeah.
You can fool yourself so easily
Yeah.
because I was reading something today, and it's funny. It lends into this, is that, and this may be something funny, but the difference between the you and the I, right?
Mm-hmm.
I am talking, I am talking, but who is listening? If you weren't listening and I was just talking in my head, who's listening? Is that the you? Is that a strange concept, right? But to have those dual witnesses
Yeah.
in your psyche and not understand them leaves you kind of open to, like you said, I think so much manipulation and influence from outside sources, and that's a heavy level of where your foundation needs to be at. But that was a really funny thing when I read it. I said, "Wow!" I said, "Wait a minute." As I'm reading this, and I'm kind of reading it in my brain, which in essence is talking. So I'm talking, but who's listening?
Yeah.
How would you identify it? I'm curious. I'm curious to see how you would identify those two people.
Ah, that's a tongue twister, bro. Um, the you and the I, because if I'm talking I, then you're listening,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and if you're talking, then I'm listening. So I feel like it's almost like passing the mic on it. I feel like it's whoever is live, but it requires us to be both you and I. So you can't have one without the other.
No, they can't. They gotta both coexist. They coexist at all time.
Yeah, because I could only exist by itself, but it cannot have a you without an I.
Exactly. And that's strength. Because if you look in the mirror and you talk to yourself in the mirror, who are you talking to? You're the one talking, but who are you talking to? Because the I is talking, but who is listening in that moment? Who's listening to you talk? Because somebody has to evaluate that. Don't you know? Have you? I know you've done it because when you do your speeches, that don't sound right. Who doesn't it sound right too? Because you just said it, right? You practice the speech in the mirror. So who is who is looking back and saying that doesn't sound right? Like who is the you?
Yeah.
That's a really heavy concept. When I read it today, I was like, wow, like wait a minute, I got to think about that. Like okay, because now it means that there are two things that need to be fed and nurtured
Mm-hmm.
simultaneously, and they both have specific purposes within your psyche. And in just in going with what we're talking about now, which is in being great. And this is why I think a really huge part of being great and doing something great is silence. Because in silence, you're dealing with the you and the I at the same time. Because you're thinking in silence, which is talking,
Yep.
and something is listening, you know?
Yep. Bro, I think it's the biggest mistake that people make not taking time to sit in silence. And I'm not saying that in a condemning way because this is a practice that I've adapted over the last 5 years, but that's also the thing that has made all of the difference. Like all of the difference, having time to sit and contemplate. Like even when I eat is one of my major times that I do nothing else. My phone turns upside down, and if I'm not with my family, that time is for me.
Right.
Like every single time. No TV, no Instagram, no nothing. It's just me and my food. And I
Mm-hmm.
just appreciate my food so much more. Every bite I get to just bite and contemplate. It looks like I'm there, but I'm not. I'm somewhere else in somewhere. And
Right.
and in that moment, I've solved so many problems, bro, just in that moment right there. So many
100%.
problems, so many ideas. If when I left work and I went to eat and there was a problem, I typically resolve it in that sit down time by myself.
Mm-hmm.
That
Yeah.
and that's just one. I feel like I have that moment throughout my day at least 2 to 3 times a day, and have that
Mm-hmm.
moment to just sit in silence and just kind of contemplate, just really check in, really check in to see what I'm really feeling, how I'm really feeling, and not to make things up, but really to understand what's going on
Okay.
in the subconscious mind. Like I want to feel it. And I heard
Mm-hmm.
somebody say this, I don't remember. It might have been Joe Dispenza, um, where it's the goal every human should have is to make their conscious mind conscious, their subconscious mind conscious, to be so aware of what's
Mm.
going on down there that you're not doing anything out of a programming, but you know what you're consciously doing. And when I
Mm.
think about that concept, I know what he means. Is it like there's a reason for the subconscious mind, right? From a process and programming, automatic, it's like your automation, right? Like you want to have things kind of happen, but you want to make sure it's the right things happen. And so it's like the reprogramming of the subconscious mind should allow you to do the right things or the things that you deem to be right, not the things that's keeping you back. And that's the
Hmm.
problem. Most people don't even know there is a subconscious mind or how it works, much
How it works.
less
Yeah, how it works.
to how it works. They may. I've also, bro, people, we use words and have no idea what the meaning of those words are. And
Big time.
so just understanding how the subconscious mind works and then using it to work for us, and I think, I mean, this is kind of like my life's mission right now. And if said differently, helping people to reprogram their subconscious mind or their neural pathways. And you know what's crazy? Those are the same things on two different
Hmm.
spectrums. So,
Hmm.
where body, soul, spirit, the
Right.
subconscious mind is spirit, the body. So, the subconscious mind is spirit. So, this is what we're talking about. It's the subconscious mind. But then you have
Hmm.
the brain, the neurological brain that stores things. And so the rewiring of your neural pathways has to be in sync with the same upload or download or whatever is happening in the subconscious. That now has to happen in the physical brain. You can't have the
Hmm.
transformation in the subconscious without rewiring the physical brain. Because your body remembers the score, and so the score is stored in your body. Your brain controls that. And so the
Right.
the subconscious mind and the beliefs and all that stuff still has to get the body to do what you believe.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
the subconscious programming, that's the visualization, that's the all of that stuff. But then you got to get your body to now move and do the things that your subconscious is now deeming to be right. And
Hmm.
most people don't win their bodies over. Well, they don't win their minds over too, but like, it's
Right.
I don't think any is more important at this point, because you need the both. You need both. You cannot have one. It
Right.
because we're all things at once.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's like the saying we always say, faith without action, right? So the subconscious is the faith in a sense because it's not tangible.
Mm-hmm.
It's not tangible yet. It's strictly visualization at that point. It's strictly something that is conjured up by whatever the senses have inputted and have told the subconscious a story. But the faith without the actual work, like you said, if you don't get the body to activate in congruence with the faith, then the work is dead.
Bro,
Work is
I
dead.
I never connected that to what I like this entire conversation. Like,
Hmm.
I never connected it with spirit and body. It
Hmm.
seems obvious now that we just said it.
Right.
It seems like, oh, that's obvious, but
We always say what's obvious to us ain't really always obvious, right? Because we talk about this kind of stuff. But yeah, you're right. It just seems like obviously, right?
yeah, but
That would
the
be it.
faith is on the spiritual side. It's the subconscious. That is tapping into that belief,
Hmm.
and then the works is physical.
It's
And
physical
if you don't, if if you have one without the other, you stuck. You're not going
stuff.
nowhere.
Stuff. Because the work without the vision, without the faith, without the vision, is leading you nowhere.
Exactly.
Vice versa, the vision without the work is leading you nowhere. You both ways you going. Who knows where you're going? Who knows where you're going to end up?
Yeah, that bro, that's so good, bro. That's so
Yeah,
good. and
So
and powerful.
for a great and for a great endeavor. Imagine how much more you need to be aligned with both.
Hmm.
Like, imagine how much more both of those things need to be working on all cylinders together when you're going after an audacious goal.
Yeah, man. I mean,
You know?
it's funny. One of my clients sent me a message this morning, and he was like, "Hey, man, the businesses are doing great. You know, we're onboarded this, we did that, and da 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 da." And then he was like, "But I suck. I've not been doing my practices, my spiritual pillar." He's like, and I could feel it. Dang, I could
Mm.
feel it. And he's like, "Man, I've never been so aware of myself in doing one without the other. Now I'm just working, 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 and I'm neglecting my spiritual pillar. That's making me neglect my relational pillar." And it's like he's like, so he's tapping in. He's like, I need an appointment, right? So because
Right.
he wants to re up, but it just goes to this notion of us living on all planes at the same time and being aware that they all need to be fed,
Hmm.
because I don't think we feed those sides of us. We may feed our physical man, but we don't feed our spiritual man. And
No.
if we thought about it, if you didn't feed your physical man, after a while you die. You become
Absolutely.
malnutrition. And
Hmm.
most people's spirits are spiritually malnutritioned. That's
100%.
that's the reason why, like, the lack of fulfillment, the no calling and purpose, and like just like, man, it's you kind of just
Right.
need them all, man. You need them all.
Yeah. They have to be. They have to be. They have to be in that. That's what I was. I think these are some of the things that I was thinking about when I thought about this morning. I said, let's jump on and kick it. Was that fullness in going on an endeavor like this, that fullness, that what it actually takes, and we just kind of basically got it down to a little bit where we understand what it takes is a nurturing of both, of all sides of you, in order for you to carry out the mission.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like you said, without the nourishment, without being fed, spiritually being fed, and then physically being fed, subconsciously being fed, and consciously being fed,
Mm-hmm.
you are working from a disadvantaged point to try to accomplish something that requires an ordinary man to be great and a great man to be even greater,
Yeah.
right? It's pushing yourself to this thing. So um it's just really like it came to me like, like I wanted people to understand, like, when they have these goals and they're sitting home and they're thinking of something and it comes to them and they say, I want to bottle water. You know, 'cause I've heard so many people tell me that years ago. Like, I thought about bottling water. I just knew it would blow up one day. And now you sit back and you got a million water bottle companies, right? And I said, but you wasn't prepared for that level of endeavor. It really didn't even have anything to do with the money. It had to do with the fact that you weren't prepared on both levels to do something that great, because we now know that it would have worked if you would have done it. Your mother or your uncle had 20 acres and it had a stream on it in Idaho, and you could have bought you could have done all these things you told me you had. You weren't prepared spiritually and mentally. So spiritually, we're going to say it's the subconscious. You wasn't prepared there, and you wasn't prepared in the conscious mind. You were who you needed to be in that position to do something that big and that great. And then if you would have somehow mustered the action to get it done, it would have fell apart probably because you wouldn't
Exactly.
have the ability to sustain it. Yeah, you wouldn't have the ability to sustain it.
Exactly. I my post. I made a post today on Facebook saying, "Thank you, God, for all the doors you closed,"
Mm, 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 mm.
because because
People never make that prayer. people, I don't. People never make that prayer. Thank you for the ones you close. You know, you get a few people that's conscious that might think of it that way, but that's a rare prayer. It's a rare prayer right there.
yeah, bro, I'm incredibly grateful because I think about even where I would be in some of the opportunities that I wanted to pursue. It would have taken me from creation, and we wouldn't be having this conversation today,
Mm-hmm.
right? We'd now
Mm-hmm.
be doing something totally different. Totally
Mm-hmm.
different.
We be out chasing down tenants.
Mm-hmm.
We be chasing tenants for for rent money.
Exactly. And so
Yeah,
I'm incredibly grateful for all the doors that God closed, bro, because yeesh. And
that's a
even
revelation, though, man. That's a revelation when you listen to it.
mm-hmm.
The doors he closed because most people would look at it as a missed opportunity, right? Damn, like I missed it. Like, ah, man, it didn't happen for me. But like you said, was it just the blessing of helping you to avoid something, ruining of your family because you wasn't ready and you would have tortured your children and your wife, or you would have tortured your husband because you really wasn't ready to handle. You'd have got wound up getting a divorce because of it, and you just really wasn't ready.
Yeah.
So that door was closed. We don't look at those. And that's another powerful thing that I know we teach in the mind insurance is reframing.
Mm-hmm.
Reframing those ideas to see where you could be possibly looking at it from a way that is putting you as a victim instead of putting you as being vindicated or being in a position to be a hero, right? To save your family. You're actually the hero of the story because you didn't do that opportunity. Or you faced that obstacle, or you reframed how what would have been considered an obstacle, you reframed it as a stepping stool. And I just think people don't look at that with enough um open-mindedness to really see how powerful that moment can be when you are able to reframe obstacles, challenges, resistance as opportunity to
Mm-hmm.
create, to evolve, to grow, to learn, because there's always two sides to everything. Everything.
Everything.
It's an in and an out, up and a down. Everything. There's two sides to it. So if you only frame the thing as this, then you are absolutely missing out on another side of it, without a doubt.
Yes, sir.
Without a doubt.
Man, when I think about what it has gotten out of me to get the doors closed, it would have never created this person. Mm-mm. It wouldn't have created this person. To some degree, I may have become complacent because I just got things too easy, to
Mm-hmm.
some degree. And then there's the other side where when I look back at even some of the things that I'm using today to carry out this mission and calling, it came
Mm-hmm.
from jobs or things that situations in life that I despised in the moment. I didn't want to have it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't hate my job. I loved my cybersecurity job, but you know, being able to think in detail and reverse engineer like steps and things like that's 100% cybersecurity. Like training
Hmm.
and like my mind. I would say there's a gift, but then training that gift is also very important, right?
Hmm.
And and cybersecurity taught me how to take data and to do things, which now that skill is more than like 10xing, more than the pains, the transitions, the things that I went through. Even music, my time as a DJ, and what I learned from doing that, dealing with people, like just, bro, it all now has such a crazy impact in just who I am today. And there were
Hmm.
times when I'm like, yo, God, why are you doing this, bro? What are we doing for real?
Right.
But now I'm just more grateful. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna use this. Like that's kind of how I reframe it. I'm like, all right, bro, I'm gonna just use this. Cool. I guess you want me to use this in the future.
That's simple, brother. It's literally that simple, man. Reframing. I think that's a powerful thing to leave anybody who's watching, anybody who watches this in perpetuity, sees that. Reframing. I don't think people understand how powerful a tool that is to have at their disposal, to be able to reframe any situation. So I'm talking about even to the point of a death, even to the point of somebody dying that you loved or cared about.
Yeah.
Reframing that from sorrow to joy, finding joy in that passing. I don't care. You could don't think I'm insensitive when I'm saying it doesn't matter what kind of passing. Even as an accidental passing,
Yeah.
there's a way to reframe that and find power and strength and resilience in that moment that you can use to fortify yourself against other things that are inevitably going to come your way. Because life is full of these things, you know? It'll
Mm-hmm.
never be a time that we just glide off into the sunset and, life is just beautifully perfect every minute, or what we would consider to be imperfect. Um, so, yeah, but I think that reframing part, from you being able to reframe, I just thought about when you mentioned cybersecurity. Your cybersecurity background is what helped you design Mio.
Oh, 1000%.
There was a purpose for it, right? It was a purpose way bigger. And when we say Mio, just know that because we're talking about a framework that Brother Kess has developed coding wise. Mio, which is called a Mind Insurance Oracle. It is a product that we are worked on and we now have out that is transforming lives. And I don't mean that in the smallest way. I mean that in the grandest way. It is literally in real time transforming lives, utilizing the same things we're talking about: reframing, pattern interruption, just so many other things. Neural pathways being realigned and readjusted and redirected. Uh, Awareness, just your awareness. Wow, just your awareness, your consciousness. So we understand that consciousness is nothing more than awareness of. So your consciousness, being totally aware of who you are, where you are, what you should be doing, and what you should not be doing. So then I'm going to go off on that, but just you having that cybersecurity background is what helped to build that. And at the time, I'm sure you didn't think, well, this cybersecurity thing is for me to be able to vibe code. You know what I'm saying? Because
Nowhere.
there was no vibe coding.
Nowhere. Yeah,
Never would have saw it.
not even close. Not even close, bro.
Man, never would have saw it.
And
Never would have saw it.
bro, I'm trying to
This,
remember. I'm trying to remember when, um, or if I still do, ask God to get out of where I am. And I'm pretty sure that there are things that I'm like, all right, God, like, what we doing, bro? Because now my frame is such, I'm gonna use it. All right, I guess you want me to have more things to talk about. You want me to share and help more people in this area. And that's how I look
mm,
at every single struggle or challenge now. It's just like, all right, I guess God want me to use this. Cool. And that reframe kind of really just helps me through most seasons, bro. But then I train the body to do the same because something that I became aware of today, and
mm,
and I think that I stopped doing this. I think that I just became so it became such a subconscious practice. I haven't activated consciously these practices, and I did it today, and I'm like, oh crap. That is like while I'm working out, and I typically work out to failure, but I do more. I just do more. Like, not to
mm,
strain and to injure myself, but it's like it gets me out of this subconscious push that, most people, I think we all do, no, even if we're present. Like these, I was doing like these back workouts, and bro, these two extra reps felt like I wanted to pass out every single time I did them.
mm.
Just two more. But every
Right.
single time I did it, I felt like I wanted to pass out. I would literally be like just like leaning over, like.
Mm,
But what it what it did to me, or what my mind was thinking about in the moment, was this is what it's gonna take to be able to achieve the things that you want to achieve.
mm,
You're gonna be at
mm.
this point of wanting to pass out. What are you gonna do?
Right. What
Think
do you
about it.
want to do?
What are you gonna do? And bro, I think I could share my screen on this thing. If I can, that would be really dope. I'm pretty sure I can. I just don't know how to. Um, so I'm not gonna belabor that and try to do that. Could you see that?
No, nothing came out.
No. Okay. Cool.
Mm.
Um, but there's a clip. There's a clip from. There's a clip from. What's the name of this show with Tom Cruise? Um, he's a Air Force kind of pilot.
Oh, Top Gun?
Top Gun. Have you watched the latest one?
Yeah, I think I saw the latest one.
Bro, there's a scene in that I typically play at least once a month
Mhm.
because the scene is so it, the scene is so damn like it's so crazy that it's not crazy. It's I just relate to it because I think that's what greatness takes. I really do believe that this is what greatness takes. And
Mm.
I still want to figure out how to do this because if I could play that clip, I think it would be so useful to our conversation. Um, but I'll kind of just let me yield the mic as I figure this out.
He said, see how it worked. Nah, listen, you it's again. We just going back to and I hope you can find the clip because again, when you can show people real examples of what it takes and what it means to be great, I think you give people a realistic idea within themselves when they're faced with those moments of because everybody comes across a moment when there's an opportunity to be great because everybody's been endowed with the gift or with a gift from the creator. And when you in that zone of greatness and without knowing it and without being prepared and without being able to identify it is when you lose the opportunity. You lose the opportunity. So I think that um it's good for people to kind of see that and feel and know it because that was the reason for me wanting to come on and kind of kick it about this was because I feel like and I think I mentioned this to you earlier. I thought I've been in great situations before. I thought I've been in, and I probably have, but I probably wasn't really ready. I probably wasn't really to exercise myself in that way and really do what would have been necessary to make that opportunity great. Remember years ago, I had a magazine, and I had started a magazine company. And it's published in New York. It was called Nights Out Magazine, and it was a lot of work. It was a lot of work, a lot of work, and it was challenging because I knew nothing about the publishing industry. So I had going out to Ohio, getting the magazine published, running around to vendors and to put the magazine. It was just so much. It was a lot, and that could have been a great moment
Mm-hmm.
because right after that, I mean, tons of people came out with magazines. Don Diva, K Slade came out with his magazine. After I did that magazine, tons of people came out with a magazine after that.
Really?
And yeah, 100%. Like they came out and they did well. And they did well. And I was like, dang, like, but I don't think that I was really truly ready for the moment and for the greatness of what it was. I mean, I was in nightclubs with, some of the biggest nightclub owners in New York City because they would let me come into their club because the magazine was about nightlife. So I had access to all of the top clubs in New York. I would just be sitting there with the owners coming in, and taking pictures of people and talking about the club and talking about the different events that was coming up in the next month. So I was getting itineraries for the parties that were going to be happening all around New York, mostly in Manhattan. So it was mostly, like I said, like the real top clubs. And I just couldn't. I wasn't ready for the moment. That's
Yeah.
the best way to look at it.
Yeah.
I was in it. I had it. They took to me. I had the capital to do it. Everything. I had the magazine. I published about 3 or 4 issues, and then I couldn't maintain it. My brain, this, that, women, did it, all kind of nonsense, and I just wasn't ready to make the sacrifice. And that's what I was talking about: the sacrifice for what the greatness required.
Mm-hmm.
And it requires a sacrifice. It required me to let people go and just stop wanting to hang out. It required me to stop wanting thinking that I needed to be around, have all the women around me. I was younger, but I loved having all the women and the notoriety. And but that kind of distracted me, you know? It kind of distracted me, you know. It distracted me. Distracted me. So I look back and I say, I've had moments where flashes and things of greatness. Man, I had so many things at this point now. I could just run down a list of them now. And I'm thinking about them. Juice
Right.
bars before juice bars were even popular. before they even popular, I had a juice bar, and beautiful one, beautiful juice bar, and I couldn't maintain it. My brain was just, I was all over the place. I was all over the place. So anybody that's watching that may see this and know me, they'll probably remember. They'll know these times. They'll know these times. You know, they'll know these times when I had it, and it seemed like I would to others. It seemed like, oh, this dude, he's doing it. He's doing it. He's but to me, I was like lost. Like I was doing it, but I didn't really have no real vision, nor did I have what it would have taken to maintain it. I could have. I mean, I made it work, but that was when we talked about the body and the physical side doing the work. I was able to do the work, but I didn't have the vision for it. I didn't have the vision to take to sustain the work.
Yo, what you see on
I
the
didn't have
screen
the
right now?
vision. Nothing.
You don't see anything?
Nothing. Just you. Just you on the screen.
Oh, so you don't see. Oh, okay.
No video or nothing like that. No.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Let me see if I touch this. It changes. No.
Now I just switched it
That
back
would.
because you said you don't see nothing. You still don't see nothing?
Yeah. No. Oh. No.
Nah.
Mm.
Interesting.
No.
Oh, hold
Right.
on
You're
one
seeing
second.
it on your screen.
Yeah. Let's see. Do you see it now?
Nope.
What do you see right now?
Just you.
It says it's live. It says it's live.
Maybe it's live in a way that I don't see it. Maybe I wish there was somebody on that you could ask them, do they see it?
Yo,
And maybe somebody else could see it, but I don't see it.
now, well, I mean, you would have to see it too, but it's all good.
Mm.
We'll rock on that another time.
Yeah,
Rock on that
we'll get
another time.
familiarized with the platform. But yeah, brother, I think those are just beautiful revelations to be able to share. You know, because I think so many people now, we talk about this before, is that the creative, the entrepreneur, the creative way, the entrepreneurial way is going to be the way of the future
Yes.
as things change. And I think if people don't put themselves in a position to create and be great and to have the resilience and the energy and the vision and the fortitude the sight to be able to pull these things off, they're gonna face times that, like, I don't think humanity has probably seen some of the things that's coming now.
Hmm. Nah.
It's a new time.
Nope.
It's gonna be a new time, and I just, it's gonna be a new time, and it's just, I think it's gonna take people to have a better vision of themselves, which is why, again, our program is so beautiful because it gives people that. It gives people what they would need in order to feel and see their vision and know that that is their vision. It's not something that's being influenced by the world, or it's not something that's just a fad. It's actually their vision that they can believe in and they can get behind. And I think part of when you figure out your identity, you'll know if this thing aligns with you. You know what I'm saying? You'll know if it aligns with you enough to say, this is what I'm gonna stick with till I make it work. And I'm gonna learn whatever needs to be learned. But if you don't know that's really your vision, you could toss your vision, your gift from the creator, the thing that the creator has given you to be able to bring to the world, you could toss it to the side and chase after nonsense and waste your time spinning your wheels on just total crap. Total
Right.
crap. You know?
Right. Yeah. I just rather put that energy in the right place, man. Just put that energy in the right place because I really do believe that this is the formula that God created for us. Like just living on purpose. living on purpose and doing something that could like he wants us to be fulfilled. But I also think that understanding his purpose for our lives is first. And I think that he puts us through our moments of separation to be able to use those things for his purpose. I don't think our separation is by chance. And I do think that the reason why we're born into a world of sin and he allows certain things to happen is because he wants us to have it. That's and no two people's purpose are the same, and we may have similar things, but
Hmm.
if we could just own the crap that we've been through and just reframe why we've been through it, gosh,
Right.
it's a different life.
Right.
It's a different life.
Absolutely. Yeah. Definitely made me think. But just now I was thinking like, if you could repurpose shit to power a car, power something, right? It doesn't matter what it is. You would be able to repurpose poop. It doesn't matter that it was poop,
Mm-hmm.
but you're able to repurpose that to grow a garden, to grow food. You know what I mean? Like that just shows you that you can repurpose the poop in your life
Hmm.
to grow and nurture something much more valuable and nurturing and sustaining and fulfilling from those things. Because you look at a lot of people going through, so many people have turned trauma into, and I think you said it today. What is it saying that you say?
Which one?
What is it? Pain pushes till purpose pulls.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So think about how much pain people have gone through. And it's not until they realize to reframe that pain that it turns into purpose
Hmm.
and pulls them to that next stage of their evolution to the person that they are destined or have the ability to become. Because there were some people that died never reaching their fulfilled purpose or their who they're destined to be. There are tons of people who never reach it. You know, I know you talked about the story you had told me one time about the guy, and I forget who it was, but he was the owner of a software company, sold it for billions of dollars, and then turned around a week later and said, I ain't got no purpose.
Yep.
I don't know what to do with myself.
Found a loom.
Loom, loom, loom.
Mm-hmm.
Turn around and says you know? And so many people would never be able to identify that. They'd be like, what? You got $1 billion? Man, you kidding me? But I'm straight. I'm gonna go off and buy me a jet. I'm gonna run around. And then you realize that ain't really what life is about.
It ain't gonna help you much.
It ain't gonna help you. It ain't gonna help you much at all unless you want to get from A to B. You know, the jet will take you there, but once you get there, you still be sad. you'll get you'll get there and still be unfulfilled.
That's the thing, bro. Most people don't realize that most people don't realize that external things pacify the situation. That's all it
Hmm.
does. It just pacifies it. It doesn't help you to deal with the things that's actually going on. And
Mm.
and it doesn't mean that we can't have nice things, but again, being the person who knows how to handle that stuff is just it's so important, bro. So important.
Sure,
Yeah.
for sure. You said it. Hopefully, the family, you know, anybody watching gets that and understands how important that is. like truly, truly, truly understands how important that is for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
In order to be able to kind of get prepared, prepare yourself. You gotta be prepared for greatness, man.
You got
You
to.
gotta be prepared when that opportunity hits, man. You gotta be prepared. You know, you really do. So I'm just hoping that the family that did join and did watch on the different platforms are able to see that and understand how important it is to prepare your mind and your heart and lay the spiritual foundation down for yourself. And it doesn't matter whatever your spiritual foundation is, just the truth, spiritual truth, to be good, to be kind, to serve others, to live upright. Those tenets don't really change from in spirituality, those tenets don't change. You know what I mean?
Nope.
They don't change. So when a person can really sit there and just really understand that this is what it is, um, they can prepare themselves. More people need to live in their greatness, man, and in their uniqueness. Because I think the world would be a lot better if it wasn't so many automatons, people just kind of just doing just to do. I think if people were really living in their authentic purpose, the world would over time just gradually get better and kinder and more fulfilling to live. You'd be more fulfilled because people would just be living genuinely. There'd be no reason to be, you know, stressed out, ignored, or whatever the case is. Just be no reason for it.
Yep.
So I know we've been on for a minute, bro. So I just, I don't want to take up too much time. Um, Man, they got, I don't know, the wasps coming out now. I don't know where they come from. I guess the warm weather came out, the wasps came back out. Moving around over there. The last tip trying to get stuck about. But yeah, man, I would, anybody watches and watches, man, please, man, look up get in touch with Kes at purposeways.com, man. And I think maybe it's maybe a time to, tell people like there's something out there for you to reach your greatness. There's something out there for you. We've created something that'll help you, and we've actually guaranteed people that it would help, and they fell under the guarantee because they understood that this was something transformative. And again, sometimes you got to stand on your own soapbox and say when what you're doing is what it is, and this is a life transforming, a transformational opportunity for anybody that's looking to transform. Um, where's the best place for them to go to find out more?
Just hit me up on Instagram. Send me a message on Instagram, or if you're on Facebook, just send me a message, and I'd love to share more. I'd love to
And
share
I would
more.
suggest anybody that's searching for something to help them, like I said, reach out. You can reach out to him on Instagram or Facebook. You can reach out to me on Facebook or Instagram if any of my friends or anybody that I know, and I'd be more than willing to, kind of push you in the right direction. But we appreciate you. We appreciate you for tapping in. Appreciate you for tapping in, bro. You got anything else before we get out of here?
Do anything in your power to live on purpose. It's the most gratifying thing ever. Take the time. You know, Mark Twain says there are two most important days in one's life: when they're born and when they figure out why. And if the second most important day is when you figure out why, then why not spend all of your time, energy, and effort trying to figure out why you're here?
Mm,
Like,
mm.
why not? If you agree with that saying, then why not? Why continue to not even actively pursue the second and last most important day of your life? It changes everything.
100%.
It changes everything. So,
Change everything. Well,
bro,
family, I hope y'all tap in, man. Tap in. Bro, we'll tap in later. All right, bro. Have a blessed rest of the day, brother. We holler up in a minute.
Yes, sir. Catch you later,
All
man.
right. Peace, bro.